What's going on, YouTube? Back at it with another video. Say, look, the scariest ghost stories in Joe Rogan history. I was going to say by Joe Rogan, like he wrote the ghost story or something. But no, in Joe Rogan history, here's the scariest ghost stories, man. Before we get into this video, I'm going to need y'all to go ahead and roll that shit up. If it's already rolled up, get ready to fire that shit up. You know what I mean? Sit back, relax. Get ready to enjoy this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, comment, subscribe, and turn in post notifications on. Let me give y'all a little second while I drink my agua fiend. Good name. Wow, wow. I used to say that shit to my stepdad when I was young. I said, wow, wow. R.I.P. to him, nigga. R.I.P. Maurice, my dog. But yeah, man. Let's get into this video.
Scariest ghost stories told on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Starting with comedian Tom Papa, who caught a ghost in his home on a Nest camera. Tom explains to Joe Rogan that he recently got a Nest camera in his house. He thought it was cool because he could be across the United States and he would get alerts like when his dog would be walking around the house. But one day while he was in Denver, he got an alert from Nest, and what he saw on the camera was horrifying.
I get another alert, and then this comes up.
Somebody standing right there with a gun? That dude, that looked like a whole body right there holding. Let's see.
Oh yeah, you can see it up there.
Okay, that's a man with a wrench.
Yeah, or a man in a trench coat with an Uzi.
Joe asks Tom if maybe...
That's definitely not a Uzi. That's definitely not a Uzi. More like a rifle or some shit. A nigga got a holding a shotgun, you know, something like that. But not no Uzi. Like, hold on, like when you die, you get a ghost gun too? I thought only your soul went, so it's just you. I don't think the gun died with you. That motherfucker is sitting there holding something though, ready to blow some shit down constantly for the rest of his life. Rest of his dead life, afterlife, he just blowing shit down. Damn.
maybe it was just a person. But Tom ensures that there was only one person in the house at the time, and that was his wife. Then Joe asks Tom if he has any other paranormal experiences that could validate what he captured on his Nest camera.
Everybody in the house has had a little something.
Is your house old?
It's not old.
How old
but
is
like
it?
Poltergeist.
Right, it's over an Indian burial ground.
You never know.
Dun, dun, dun.
You never know.
Then Tom shows Joe a video from the same Nest camera in his house.
Look at this video in the same office from the Nest.
You got a video? Let me see what's going on.
I want to see it.
What am I looking at here?
Did the thing move?
No.
Can you press play again?
Okay.
Same camera. What's that?
It's a bug, bro.
It's a bug?
100%. That's a bug.
How do you know that's a bug?
Because it's a bug. It's moving in front of the camera. It flies around.
It's doing loop-de-loops.
Dude.
Joe claims that the thing in the video was just a bug flying past the camera. Then Jamie pulls up the video from Tom and agrees with Joe, saying that it was just a bug.
Oh, that's a bug.
It's a fucking bug, right?
Yeah, y'all in here tripping like y'all seeing ghosts and shit in your house, nigga. Y'all got roaches. And you didn't know, so you like, oh, fuck, what is this shit? Ah! Yeah, you didn't know you had roaches. Them neighbors beside, go ahead and blame it on them. Just go ahead and be like every other black person and blame it on them new neighbors that just moved in next door. Because y'all didn't have roaches before they moved in, huh? Y'all did it. Yeah, we all did it. And then out of nowhere, the neighbors moved in, we all got roaches. No, nigga, it's because we been had them bitches. We just didn't see them. But just blame it on them so you can feel better about yourself. That makes every black person feel better. We just go ahead and blame it on the neighbors. Be like, no, hell no, we ain't had this shit before them nasty ass neighbors moved in. Nigga done told that to every piece of company that came over, except for the company that knew your house before you moved in here. You ain't say that to them. because they knew you been had roaches. Yeah.
Thank you, Jamie. Let's watch this. Let's watch this so everyone at home can laugh at how fucking crazy Tom Papa is. Here we go.
Well, if you first...
Let's watch the bug. Oh, look.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking bug.
A flat paper piece.
That is a whole fly, bro. You see how it fucking flew right here? It then flew over here.
The
Bro,
paper.
come on,
Oh, look.
Oh, yeah.
A
flat. If you first...
Let's watch the bug.
Look.
Oh, look.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking bug.
A flat
That's
paper
a fucking bug.
piece of
Your
paper. Oh,
No.
all bugs look like a fortune cookie.
Dude, it's a bug.
Although Tom Papa is not 100% certain that he is dealing with a ghost in his house, the same can't be said for Dan Aykroyd.
That was a bug. And that first video was somebody standing in the distance or in the kitchen with a knife in their hand ready to cut the piece of cake on the counter, and they caught the shadow. That's all I'm getting out of that. I don't think that had anything to do with ghosts. I don't even know why that's even in this video as the scariest. He said that's definitely a man in the army that has a Uzi. What? Have you seen a Uzi?
Aykroyd, who is confident his farmhouse in Canada is haunted. Dan Aykroyd initiates this conversation by mentioning how he spends a lot of time at his family's farm in Canada and briefly says that the farmhouse is haunted.
I'm there with my dad in Canada a lot, and we have the old family farm, but with the haunted farmhouse. And
of course, this piques Joe Rogan's interest in the haunted farmhouse and asks Dan if it really is haunted.
Well, let me say that there's residual energy from the people who've lived there in the past. So you hear footsteps and voices and creaks and doors closing and that, and many people have had experiences in it. So
this sparks Joe Rogan to say that there is a reason why people don't want to live in a house where someone has been murdered. Dan interrupts Joe and tells him that nobody was murdered in that house, but certainly people have passed away. Dan doesn't go into much detail about what goes on in the farmhouse, but he starts to talk about his haunted house in Los Angeles that he recently sold.
When I sold our house in Los Angeles, we lived in Mama Cass's old estate on Woodrow Wilson Drive, and we sold it to Beverly D'Angelo, and she's been on the Celebrity Ghost Show talking about the spirits that were in that house.
Joe Rogan asks Dan,
then imagine buying a house from a celebrity. You don't know what they did in that house or the people that sold the house to them, what they did in that house. We talking about celebrities here. We don't know if these motherfuckers had freak off parties. We don't know if they was killing people for real, what type of celebrity was. We don't know if they was dealing with the devil and doing all types of satanic shit in your house. And now them demons is like, nah, this our shit. I don't care who moving here, nigga. We gonna get them out of here. We gonna drive somebody crazy and they gonna kill themselves and they gonna have to leave. You know, something in that area. We don't watch too many movies, bro. This shit real. This shit real life out here. Huh? Imagine getting a house and you didn't know that used to be satanic rituals in your baby room before this shit really started. You take the carpet off and everything, nigga. The original wood is there and that motherfucker got a whole devil sign on it, you know. Satanic signs and shit. They was doing hella rituals and chicken blood and sticking to the wood and shit. Oh man, y'all gotta think about that shit before y'all be just buying houses. Like at this point, nigga, apartments don't sound too bad. Like if that motherfucker haunted, they following you. It seemed like.
What paranormal things were happening to her in the house? Dan says that jewelry would move around on her and she would feel someone tapping her shoulder, but nobody would be there. Then Dan shares his own personal paranormal experiences in that Los Angeles home.
I had an experience one night where something got into bed with me. I was alone, and I don't know what went on there, but I just figured out. Well, in my...
You fucked a ghost?
I think I was being come on to there, but anyway...
so you resisted?
You know what? I just snuggled up next to it and went to sleep.
You spooned with it.
I did. I felt a shape. I looked and saw the depression in the I saw the depression in the mattress, and I felt a shape, something next to me, felt a form next to me, and I nuggled. No, not that night. I was working on a picture and went to bed early.
Then
that's crazy, and I fully believe him because I went through that too as a kid, bro. My dad had this little 2-story house, and I remember me and my cousins, we used to all live in that same house. Cause like my cousins lived upstairs and downstairs was like where my siblings and my dad and my stepmom stayed. But my stepmom, she always had like little like creepy shit following her. I ain't gonna lie. She always had like little ghosts and shit. But she used to go like ghost hunting and she used to be intrigued with that shit. So them motherfuckers was following her. They still on her ass to this day. I be trying to tell them they need to go get blessed, but they don't want to listen. But yeah, I remember being there and I was upstairs, nigga. And I remember we was all upstairs watching TV. We was on the bed and I remember the edge of the bed like sank in. Like somebody was sitting on the bed watching it with us type shit. And I remember sitting there like, and I remember looking down to the side, bro, and the bed was like kind of like pressed in a little bit, like somebody was sitting right there. And I was like, oh shit. And I just kept looking at the TV like, and didn't say nothing. And my heart was beating like a motherfucker. So I remember getting up and going to the back of the bed, right? Okay, so the bed on the floor, it's one of them big king size bed that's just on the floor. There's no springs or nothing. It's just mattress on the floor. In front of us on the wall is TV. I'm on the front, like closest to the TV, like where your feet is on the bed. I'm down there like this. And that's when I feel the shit go down. I feel that. Some time go by, I get scared, I don't move, and then I get up and go to the front of the bed, like by the wall, to where like you can lay back like this and look at the TV. I'm on the opposite side of where I was. And I remember laying there, falling asleep, right? I wake up in the middle of the night. I don't remember what time it was. I was probably like 5, 6 years old at this time. I remember waking up in the middle of the night, man. TV was off. Wasn't none of my cousins upstairs. No, they just left me, bro. They left me up there, nigga, and I was so motherfucking scared because they didn't know what the hell I just went through. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm upstairs in the back room, dark, nigga. All you can see is this window. It's like closet, window, closet. And the window just like shining from the moon. That's all I can see, bro. I swear to God, some scary shit. And I'm just laying there. And then I see like this boy walk, but it's my little brother though. Like, I got a little baby brother. He a twin. He a twin, baby. It's a little boy and a little girl. At the time, they was like toddlers. And he used to wear this little blue onesie. And I seen that nigga walk in front of me. And I remember sitting there with the covers, and I was like, Malik. And he just kept walking. And nigga didn't say nothing. Then I threw them motherfucking covers over me, and I just laid there. Like, bro, please. And I remember I just laid there. I kept peeking throughout the covers. But I had to peek and then close it up because I didn't want nothing to pop up like, no shit like that. I just laid under the covers thinking until the damn light showed up. Whole time when I ran downstairs, my little brother was laying in the bed with his mom and didn't have no onesie on. We didn't have nothing. So I'm like, who the fuck was that upstairs? Because it was dark, nigga. So I'm thinking like, Malik. I see the smallest kid in the house with a onesie. So I'm thinking like, oh, that's my little brother, Malik. And he just like walking. But it's like he walking, but you don't hear his footsteps. Kind of like gliding, but not gliding. You can see him walking, but it's like, this shit was weird, man. And I was so young. It wasn't like you could see like how it was a ghost, nigga. Simple as that. But it wasn't like ghost. It wasn't like a ghost. It was regular body, but it wasn't like human body. You know how we look solid, It looked like you could see through it, but you couldn't see through it. You know what I'm saying? If any of y'all seen what a ghost look like in real life, like some of y'all can see ghosts, some of y'all can't, bro. One of y'all motherfuckers that's watching this video know what I'm talking about. If you can see ghosts, you know the difference between that and a human. Like you just can't really explain it. But I seen that shit and I was like, oh my God. But that wasn't the first thing I seen in that house, bro. Nigga, I seen a whole white man walk up our stairs one day. Long white beard. Had a white tuxedo type suit on. But he wasn't like glowing or no shit like that. He had like a white tuxedo on. Had a long white beard. Long kind of like white hair, kind of like blackish grayish. And nigga walked. I remember sitting on the bench, and we had like this mirror behind our bench where we eat our dinner and shit at. And I remember looking to this left, cause right, you sit on the bench like this, and you look to the left. It's like the hallway to the bathroom, and then like to the upstairs. Nigga, I remember seeing him come out the bathroom and walk upstairs, and I ran over to to the hallway and I looked, nigga, I seen that nigga walk up them stairs, bro. And I ran to my stepmom like, you know, this, and this. And she was like, no. She was like, what'd he look like? And I was telling her what she looked like. She was like, that's my uncle. He died so-and-so. So I was like, what you mean that's your... Like, what? It was kind of cool then. Like, what? That's your uncle? That's crazy. But then it scared the shit out of me. It's like, you just answered that like it wasn't nothing. Like, oh, yeah, he's with us. Like, huh? I don't even know. I wonder if she remember that shit. She probably don't. That shit was crazy. Man, boy.
Dan Aykroyd claims that there were 2 spirits in the house, and he explained who those spirits were.
There were 2, yes, and there were 2 spirits that might have been there. Maybe Mama Cass herself, although she died in London. And then there was another guy that apparently, a rumor was he died of a drug overdose at a party and they buried him in the hillside. Oh. And my daughter saw him walking with a little red-haired girl down the hall once, and you know, we think that he might have been there.
Joe and Dan start to talk about the legality of declaring that they experienced paranormal activity in the house before listing it for sale. A few minutes later, Joe asks Dan to explain again what happened when he felt a ghost get in bed with him.
So tell me about this thing. You're laying down in bed, so you're about to go to sleep.
I'm about to go to sleep, and
working
I feel,
on Dragnet, everything's good.
And I feel this depression. I feel this something. And
Are you asleep yet?
Not asleep. No. I just turned out the light, and I look and I see this depression, and then I go, well, what am I going to do about this? Am I going to leap up screaming? No. I rolled over and I just kind of snuggled up against it and went to sleep. And I slept like a baby.
That motherfucker was laying with him like, yeah, don't you move, little nigga. Turn that ass over. You get up and move, I'm gonna get to throwing shit off the wall. Yeah, don't you move, little nigga. That motherfucker's a freaky deaky ghost. What if he had like a wife in the past or like a girlfriend in the past that died or something? Or I don't know, but that's crazy. Just came and laid in bed with him. And the ghost like, hey, oh my God, I'm glad you let me here. And he's like, he can't see nothing. It's wild, bro.
Slept like a baby.
Investigators and YouTubers Sam Goldback and Colby Brock sat down with Joe Rogan in January of 2023 and discussed some of their craziest paranormal encounters. But the scariest story they told was about their first paranormal incident while investigating the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. The story starts off by Sam telling Joe Rogan that before they started investigating haunted places, they would explore abandoned places. Sam nor Colby were not believers in the paranormal, but one of their friends sent them an article that one of the most haunted rooms in the Queen Mary would be open to the public. Sam and Colby thought this would be a fun video to film, so they booked the room.
But there's this one room, B340, that hadn't been open for 30 years, and allegedly they closed it down because there's multiple unexplained murders and or suicides in that room. And we're like, whoa, like, you know, if this is the first week this is open after 30 years, this is going to be an amazing like story to tell or, you know, video to film.
When the YouTubers first arrived at the Queen Mary, they toured the whole entire ship and the supposed haunted room, and they weren't experiencing anything paranormal.
This is supposed to be the big wig, like, why can't we get something to happen? And so it was 4 o'clock in the morning at this time. We've been trying for hours of just sitting in circles, like asking out.
And we didn't have any equipment at this time. This is like the first place we ever went to, so we were just like meandering.
Investigators and YouTubers Sam Goldback and Colby Brock sat down with Joe Rogan in January of 2023 and discussed some of their craziest paranormal encounters. But the scariest story they told was about their first paranormal incident while investigating the Queen Mary in Long Beach, California. The story starts off by Sam telling Joe Rogan that before they started investigating haunted places, they would explore abandoned places. Sam nor Colby were not believers in the paranormal, but one of their friends sent them an article that one of the most haunted rooms in the Queen Mary would be open to the public. Sam and Colby thought this would be a fun video to film, so they booked the room.
But there's this one room, B340, that hadn't been open for 30 years, and allegedly they closed it down because there's multiple unexplained murders and/or suicides in that room. And we're like, whoa, like, you know, if this is the first week this is open after 30 years, this is going to be an amazing story to tell, or, you know, video to film.
When the YouTubers first arrived at the Queen Mary, they toured the whole entire ship and the supposed haunted room, and they weren't experiencing anything paranormal.
This is supposed to be the big wig, like, why can't we get something to happen? And so it was 4 o'clock in the morning at this time. We've been trying for hours of just sitting in circles, like asking out.
And we didn't
like,
have any equipment at this time. This is like the first place we ever went to, so we were just like meandering like the whole.
Yeah, something different about this. I can't figure him out. Like, he like both of everything. Like, I don't know if he gay, straight, hot dog, hamburger, evil. He like God. I just like his personality seemed like a good dude, but his look seemed like he do evil shit. Like, y'all just can't trust this nigga for some reason. Something ain't right. He look like he do some shit like that in the dark. You don't even know what he doing it for.
Always being like, is anything here?
Yeah, like just trying to get something to happen
right.
On camera, and nothing was happening, and so we're like, fine, I guess.
That nigga nibble on your elbow.
Let's do this. Let's just like leave. Like, it's fun to tell the story. Let's just leave.
But just as the YouTubers were about to leave the Queen Mary, they finally encountered something paranormal.
Like, start walking towards the door, and as soon as we turn, like, actually we're about to like get out of the room, the faucet turns on like full blast for 4 seconds and then turns back off, and we all like actually like, you know, freeze and freak out. 2 of our roommates that were there at the time like just immediately started like crying. We ran in. We were like, okay, how is that actually possible at all? Maybe that's a sign of like it doesn't want to be filmed and it doesn't want us to leave. So maybe let's just not film this and try one more time.
The YouTubers turned off all of their cameras and tried to see if they could communicate with any ghosts that may be in the room. Sam, Colby, and their 2 friends turned off the lights, sat in a circle, and started to ask out questions.
Like, is there anybody here? And we hear a knock. And so we're like, okay, maybe that's something.
Very faint though. It was like a tap.
Like a tap. And so we're like, okay, let's just run with that. Can you tap more than once? And there was like 3 taps. We're like, okay, this is really weird.
Joe Rogan asked the YouTubers how loud they were asking these questions. He was curious if maybe someone else in a different room was hearing them and just playing a prank on them. Sam and Colby said that that was what they initially thought, so they started to experiment. They started off talking normally, but then they would whisper and ask a question and they would still get a response. They then started to ask the ghost yes or no questions, asking it to knock once for yes and knock twice for no. They state that they had a yes or no conversation with the ghost for 35 minutes. Then they tried to trick the ghost.
And so we had this conversation back and forth, and we tried to trick it. You know, like we would ask questions in different manners, like, okay, is there more than one of you? Yes. And then we'd say, are you alone? And it would say no. Back and forth, trying to get this thing, and the story kept straight the entire time. And we were like, okay, come on, there could be someone like screwing with us. This is like on, you know, the news of being like haunted place. Like, what's going on?
Well, what was crazy about it too is all the knocks, they weren't just coming from one section. That would make sense if like maybe something outside was like tapping. These knocks would be like below us and then above us to our sides. Some would be louder than other ones.
No.
We
See,
went out to
that's all the
hallway a
dead
couple
people in
times
there.
and
Like,
realized
yeah,
that
we
were,
all
like,
here.
the last room, besides like this
stuck
like
in his
utility room
room
to our left.
Fast forward to the end of the YouTuber's stay. They wanted to ask the ghost something deeper, so they decided to ask it a question about religion.
What if it's like it's a little demon that done trapped all them souls in there or whatever? Could be whatever. And they just all in there trying to find a way out. So anybody that buy it, they like, we trying to talk. We can't. We want to communicate. Turn the cameras off because we need help. Nigga, just tear the building down. Then we can be free. Tear the building down. We can be free. Nigga, it's a million motherfucking souls in there. And just one room bumping into each other. Hey, excuse me. Pardon me. Hey, what year are you from? 1839. Like, they from... It's all types of souls in that motherfucker.
And I ask out, is there a heaven? And it knocks 3 times, meaning no.
As soon as the ghost knocked 3 times, the other 2 people with Sam and Colby immediately jumped up and said that they had to leave. Sam and Colby were confused, and their two friends said that they would tell them later, but they just had to leave the Queen Mary.
We got all the way to the car without anyone saying anything. And as soon as we got in the car, we're like, what's going on? Like, why do we have to leave? He's like, well, in the Christian religion, anything like demonic or evil is supposed to, like, basically disprove that there is a heaven.
That's what I'm saying. I would have got it.
So,
Says there a heaven? No. It's only in hell. Meet me in the car. Boy, it'd have been that easy. It's that simple. And for me, I would have got him and went straight to the car. And I hope my friends know what that means.
So what they were saying is, like, we don't think this is some, like, spirit or something paranormal there. We think it was something that was trying to lead you away from heaven or Christianity.
Demonic territory type thing.
Another avid paranormal investigator sat down with Joe Rogan in September of 2023 and discussed his time at the Conjuring House. Comedian Matt Rife told Joe Rogan that a massive hobby of his is ghost hunting. At first, Joe asks him if he had any moment where he was 100% certain he was in the presence of a poltergeist. Matt Rife responded saying,
Still not 1,000%. I've definitely witnessed things that I cannot for the life of me explain that have creeped me out. The timing has been impeccable. I've seen things move that there's just no fucking way that they've moved. I've gotten answers back on EVPs, but for me, it is one of those things I do need to see it.
Matt and Joe then get into a discussion about the Conjuring franchise and how good those movies are. That prompts Matt Rife to talk about his time at the Conjuring House.
I will say I wasn't
going to shit like this.
I wasn't as scared as I've been in a lot of places we've been. There is some kind of solace to the house, but you get to know the history of it, and it does make sense that there'd be something here. I mean, it's on some ley lines of water underground. There was wars fought there. There's apparently bodies buried on the property in the walls of the property structures and stuff. There's a lot of history that goes into it that just makes for kind of the perfect storm for some creepy shit. But I didn't witness anything that was that insane. Some items moved, some cars rolled off of the children's dressers a couple of times on cue.
Although Matt Rife didn't experience anything too paranormal at the Conjuring House, the same can't be said for Joe Rogan, who has experienced many paranormal things at the Comedy Store in California.
Have you guys ever been to the Comedy Store?
No, but we were trying to.
Yeah, listen, I can set that up. The Comedy Store is without a doubt haunted. If there's a place that's haunted in the world, it's the Comedy Store.
Joe Rogan starts giving some history on the Comedy Store. He says that it used to be a mob nightclub and that many people were murdered there.
It was Bugsy Siegel's nightclub. It was called Ciro's. And in the 1950s, was it the 50s and the 60s? Is that what it was? But
in the 40s.
In the 40s?
Yeah.
But it's a famous old mob-run nightclub that Mitzi Shore took over in the 1970s. So the place has this feel to it, like it's been run, as an entertainment venue for 70 years or something crazy like that.
Joe Rogan then begins to tell some stories from the haunted Comedy Store.
Carl LeBeau, who recently passed away, Carl had the weirdest story. He got kicked out of his house. He got in a fight with his wife, and he got kicked out of his house, and he went to the Comedy Store and decided he was going to sleep on the stage in the main room. And he's like, man, I'm gonna fucking make it. I'm sleeping on this stage. She's gonna kick me out of the house, but one day I'll fucking show you. And so he's drunk, and he lays down on the stage, and then he hears a door shut. And the Comedy Store main room is pitch black, right? So this is what it looks like.
That's what it looked like. That motherfucker looked like deja vu. Damn near, like a strip club or something. That look like no comedy club. That look like she go up there and shake that ass for some cash. Damn. He said he's gonna sleep on the stage.
But that's only when the lights are on. So he's laying down and he hears a door shut, and he goes, "Hey, it's Carl. It's me, Carl. Who is that?" And then he doesn't hear shit. And then he hears chairs move, and he hears like clink, 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 clink.
Oh, God.
And he's sitting there, he's going, what the fuck is going on? And something grabs his ankle and pulls him off the stage and onto the floor. And then he hears chairs moving again, and bam, the door shuts and slams, and nothing else.
Anyways, these have been 5 of the scariest stories told.
Nigga, a motherfucking ghost ran in there. Like, okay, we got him. And he drunk, so we can connect closer. Ran in there, dragged that nigga, and then ran out. Bro, what? I'm dead. You ain't supposed to be here. Ran in there, dragged him off. It's the fact that ghosts can grab you, bro. Like, some of them probably be right there trying to touch you and can't touch you. And then some can actually physically grab you and throw you in the air, pull you off the stage and shit. That's scary. That's crazy. And then he drunk to the motherfucker, so I wonder if people even believed him.
On the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe with post notifications on. Anyways, I will see you guys.
Why does everybody hate me? I don't know, nigga. Cause they straight be bashing that nigga's music. As soon as they come on, they I am the best. I am strong. His music sound like Rock's music. Dwayne Johnson. You gotta be strong. You gotta have power. Gotta have strength. Don't be sour. That shit suck. We don't need it here. We don't need that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Some music we don't need. And maybe you might have that music that we don't need, brother. Him right here. You gotta win. You gotta don't. You gotta lose. You gotta want. Huh? Look at that shit is poopy cheese sandwiches. Nasty. Nasty poop cheese nugget music. But yeah, man. That's the end of this video, man. I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe. Turn that post notifications on, man. And if you got a ghost in your house, nigga, hey, try to do what you can to get it out, man. I'll grab you some sage, get a priest. They pretty good. Get one that's really good at it. Get you some holy water, bless it on up. Get them out of there, because, nigga, they touching kids and shit now. Grabbing them off counters and shit. You be like, who the fuck been stealing my shit? It's been the ghost. And you done yelled at everybody in the house. Exactly, man. For real. Them Hanks is hanking. I'm gone. Peace.